All right, welcome back. Hopefully we'll get this episode up because we've whiffed on the last two recordings we've done for the KMS YouTube for
Yeah.
multiple technical issues. So hopefully this one will get up. But Ned, how you doing?
Good. But we're not to blame for the reason why we didn't make it up on the KMS network, right?
Not this past week, no.
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 It's a technical issue with the producer of the show. Of course, I know of a height-challenged Australian who would have definitely put it right up there, the moment we dropped it. But okay.
I mean, listen, in his defense, I will say this. When I sent it to Dave, it was on Friday morning, and they were recording at the time. So okay. I'm sure he had other things going, and a couple days later, he saw it at 3 a.m. I don't know what the fuck he's doing up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But I guess we can go in a little out of order here for our topics that we'd originally planned. But maybe that explains why his mom makes him breakfast every Sunday, because he's still awake and he's hungover from whatever the hell he's doing. That's keeping him up to 3:30 a.m. on a Saturday night with two little kids. But Ned, you've got kids that live nearby you. You have a daughter that lives near you. Would you make a breakfast every weekend?
I wouldn't, but they're daughters, they're not sons. So the mother, of course, will always baby the son, right? Also, isn't he like the youngest?
I mean, listen, You're talking to someone who also is very, very, very much the youngest child.
Here we go.
So I get it.
Yep. So he's definitely the baby. So I actually, it's a great idea. I would have loved it if my mother would have made me breakfast as an adult when I would come over and visit every Sunday morning. What I like is the mental image of Big Jack lying shirtless on the sofa.
Oh yeah,
on a Sunday morning,
just being disappointed in everything,
sprawled across his stomach, his coffee mug on the floor next to him.
Just overhearing Dave and Kathy Cullinane talking, and just and also, what are the chances Dave's wife actually does any errands versus just like stays home and sleeps?
Oh yeah, no, she stays home and sleeps.
They're
kids that young,
zero chance she's doing any errands. So. Okay, we were talking about this a little bit before. I agree with Kirk. I think that there is zero chance whatsoever that Dave's mom wants to be watching the kids every day and then every Sunday. And then just like, it's just a never ending flow. And I know you're a grandfather, so you can have a different perception there. But I just feel like there's zero chance that they actually want that. Big Jack doesn't want it, but there's zero chance that Kathy does.
As you do always, Adam, make it about yourself. Wouldn't your mother or your mother-in-law, who I think you find psychotic, but wouldn't your mother or mother-in-law love to have you pop over if you could on, like, say, Sunday mornings and cook the kids breakfast?
Not every Sunday. Not at all. In all fairness, my parents and same with my in-laws have their own lives. Like, they have their own lives also. They make their own plans at times. Both of them spend plenty of time with their kids. I also don't find my in-laws to be psychotic. They are psychotic. There's a difference.
Facts.
But even that Sunday
why
aside,
all of your stories revolve around you, because you obviously didn't get the attention, the love and attention.
Again,
do you have any siblings?
Yeah. I'm the youngest. And a sister. I'm the youngest of 3.
Right.
I am very much the youngest of 3. I am the baby of the family. I got plenty of love and attention. But I also understand that as adults, my parents want to have their own lives also. And like, they should, by the way. They're active in other things. So, there are times when we'll ask if we can go to them for a weekend, and, they'll be at some, American Israel convention type of thing.
Of course. Priorities,
of course.
Making it priorities.
Of course.
My mother, God rest her soul, was a much better grandmother than mother. So she would, if we had said that we'd coming over every Sunday and then, after Mass, she would be thrilled. She never said no to any of her grandchildren. She had like 11 of them at one time. So never say no. By the way, caveat, she was a miserable cook. She would have burned the eggs and she would have overcooked the bacon. She burned the toast. My mother didn't think any vegetable was done until it was squishy. So, I married the greatest cook in the world, thank God. But she could have put, fried dog food in front of me. I would have been, this is awesome, compared to what I grew up with.
You married the greatest cook in the world, second to my wife, but, whatever.
Well, that's good. That's what
you
it
know,
should be.
exactly right. But no, but I mean, first and foremost, that aside, I think that there's zero chance that she actually wants to watch the kids every single day.
Oh, I
Like, there's no.
disagree.
Ned, you look at it through rose-colored glasses of having a newborn baby
And my
and
own
being a
experience.
new grandfather, and it's a new experience for you. But after so many years, and there are two grandkids running around, they're getting older, they're getting crazier, they're getting more fresh. They're like eventually you want a break.
Well, how far away do they live again? They're the next town
Miami.
over, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's not a long ride. I can only go off my own experience. My mother-in-law and my mother would have gladly taken the kids, you know, during school or during work days, for a couple of hours, say 6 hours a day. Would have gladly until they were school age or something like that.
Right.
Then you're right. Then it becomes a little bit too more active. They drive, the kids are going to after school activities. So I still think she definitely wants to do it. I think she loves doing it.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Also, I'm dying to know, does Dave go to his mother on Mother's Day and make her cook him breakfast?
Oh, no, that I don't know. What I thought you were going to say, what I'd be dying to know is, does his mother-in-law ever volunteer to take the kids? Don't know.
I mean, clearly we know that there's some drama there between them.
That's right. Could be some tension.
It could be, or it definitely is. Well, moving on from Dave's family situation, and by the way, it is official now, and you all will know this by now because this will come out later. But Kirk has lost in round 1 of the dozen trivia.
Ooh, so
yeah,
is he out?
That caller was right. Yeah, they lost to the play-in team. I guess that caller was right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Fast forward to this. Advance 15 seconds and you'll be fine.
No, it's not a spoiler. This won't come out until tomorrow, and it's out now.
Joke, Adam. That's the joke.
Well, it was a bad joke. Anyways. Okay, so
start again.
Exactly. And they will never know what we edited out.
No, we just edited it out, folks.
So Ned, what are you? Kirk always says that it's interns have a shelf life. After a certain amount of time, they need to float away.
Agreed.
His words. And just do something else. That he doesn't want them staying around. Now, Justin has not been an intern for a while. He wasn't an intern when he left the show, and I don't think he's coming back as an intern. But what are your thoughts on Justin's return?
Well, the idea is that he's coming back as an employee, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I believe so. I assume it'll be the same role it was before.
It was, but now it's a paid employee role. Do we know if is Kirk paying him or is Barstool paying him or mix?
Well, I assume there has to be something with Barstool because Dave said on today's show that HR was being slow in getting them the.
That's right.
paperwork.
He did say that. Correct. And now
he was a paid employee when he left. Also, he wasn't an intern anymore. Yeah, he was definitely not an intern.
I thought he wasn't unpaid at the time, but he is getting a shot at the big chair, the big producer chair at the golf tournament.
Yes.
What weekend in August is that? By the way, do we know?
I
might have missed it.
I don't. By the way, what the hell are you playing with? That's making all these banging sounds.
A little model plane. It's brass. Sorry.
I'll leave it alone. ADD Ned.
Yeah. Because I'll be in Maine. We're doing our family vacation. We have the beach house for like 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of August. So if it's up there, then I'll definitely go up to.
I assume it is.
Where is it? In Lewiston, right? Or is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's better. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. I think he's going to have some issues. You can tell when Justin's medication is working well and when it's not. It's quite apparent. He's not a totally different person, but he's definitely more on his game. And I kind of like the new salty Justin, like feeling his oats, exposing old tweets, which is always a lot of fun. I don't even have time.
Yep.
How do these people have time to go back and dig into old tweets? But
I have no idea. I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to BD for that because he's like the king of finding anything that you could have possibly tweeted. Like it's crazy.
Yes. No. Well, he's also had it to him, so he's learned. He was taught.
Also true. So he, I like Justin. I think that he'll be fine. He's a good personality and a good person to have in the world. I think he does bring entertainment to the show. Yeah. My concern for him is along the same lines as what you were mentioning, which is,
stability.
Justin, especially now, like you said, has been going, full tilt on going after people and being aggressive, and really in line with, by the way, how he was doing at the end of his run with the show, with what he was doing with EI. He really fell into that role. Now the problem is that Justin gets into those moments where he then doesn't react well when he has to take it, and he will. The same people who went after him before are going to come right back after him again.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things that you just said that do strike a chord. Number one, he can't be trusted with live events.
Right.
So the fact that he's doing the main thing, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because his 2 live events
just jumped on my lap.
Just ended, they ended disastrously. Well, he no-showed the last one, right?
Yep.
I'm like, 3 days before, I think it was, and left newly hired, Dave on the hook.
Yep.
That led to the $29,000 invoice.
Yep.
So I do think he's got to work with that. There's some sort of anxiety issue when it comes to performance under pressure. Hopefully he'll be in better condition by then. But I don't think this is the same Justin as when he left. When he left, he was over the top aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This time it's more like cutting. It's more clever. I think I like it. I like this one better. It's more. Listen, it's a more matured Justin Trudell.
I mean, for sure. And I obviously I don't want to speculate on anyone's mental health. I'm in no position to ever do that. But again, it's just my concern is, will he end up back in the same position? And, is it healthy for him? Because it was very apparent by the end of his run that, being on the show and being a character in the world and not just a behind the scenes guy wasn't the healthiest thing for him.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
I hope that it works out. I mean, listen, like I said, I want him to keep doing what he's doing now, because like you said, it's been entertaining as hell. And I want him, hopefully to be great and to not have any issues. So, yeah.
So this is a good opportunity. Let's hope it goes well. If not, it'll be great entertainment, great content. But we do have, think about it. 2 of the 4 regular characters on that show have emotional stability issues. Just something to think about.
Well, I mean, like Kirk used to always say all the time that it's not a good thing that Steve was the sanest person in the room. Speaking of any type of disability, mental or otherwise, you've met him in person. I haven't.
I've not met you in person.
That's true. Does Chris have any physical? Is Chris similar to Ted Sellers? Because I have never seen anyone struggle to get out of a chair like that before. And I'm a fat guy, so like I get what it's like to struggle getting out of chairs. But like that was just, I mean, I don't even know how to classify that.
Well, it was a great slither move. He knows, don't touch the equipment. He is extraordinarily thin. No, he has no physical disabilities. We'll be gentle. But I kind of respected the move because he did like slither around it without touching anything, as if it was going to give him an electric shock. So, full marks to Chris on that. And it's a pity that we didn't get the show uploaded from last week, because we did go a full Chris Klemmer fan show on the KMS network. So again, Dave, that's really going to hurt that we don't have it up there. But going back to it, he knows where his bread is buttered. He knows that if he banged that equipment or what did Dave say? Dave said it is a sensitive microphone. It could fall off. So,
but so what?
Good for him.
So what? So
he bangs into it. He was like,
it was like, I know, but okay. So you know what? Here,
I like that.
I just hit my microphone. Is the world over? Like who cares? It was wild move. I mean, listen,
it was a wild
I would
move.
Be. I have said this to him privately. I'll say it. I've said it many times before. It impresses me anyone can go into that show and not sit there shivering and shaking and being nervous as all hell. So, any slip ups like that, totally fine. Yeah. What I love is just the way that video just permeated through Barstool. Not just like Kirk, not just Big Cat. Even guys like, do you know Donnie Does World?
Yep.
So the one, I mean, his tweet was perfect where he wrote, I literally had to Google, quote, is Chris Klemmer disabled, unquote, to know whether I could laugh at this or not. Which he's got a 156,000 followers and ended up getting 787 likes, quote tweets, retweets. I mean, this video was clearly sent around the office in a holy shit, you've got to see this disabled kid who works for Kirk.
Yeah. Hey, look, a peek behind the curtain. Chris is extremely well prepared when he goes into any type of situation.
Oh, for sure.
I'm talking about his show and with Kona Week. He knows his stuff going in. He's well prepared. But he's a bundle of nerves too. He wants to get it right. He does ad reads and he'll stop and do it again. I mean, he treats his advertisers with respect and he wants to make it perfect. Or maybe, God willing, someday we have an advertiser. You and I have to do ad reads and, we'll just blow through them.
Oh yeah. We'll completely
so the fact that the slither move was something that makes perfect sense knowing Chris. But I know that, he was very grateful for all the interaction. So I do hope he ends up at Barstool. He has tons of roles he could do there because he is a baseball nut. And he's naturally funny. He's very quick. And you're right. He's been keeping up with Kirk for what, over a year now?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Once a week for over a year. How many bodies can we count that Kirk has left by the wayside? Yeah. Trenny Kuznarek,
Stop with the airplane, Ned. Stop with the airplane. Oh, shit,
sorry. Jerry Callahan. I mean,
Oh, your favorite Jerry Callahan.
Listen, if it was, Clemmer and Minihane, it would have been a much better show than Kirk and Callahan. Although I will say that today, the drop from today's show that Jerry got bumped off of Tucker. As much as I hate Jerry, I would have loved to have heard those clips. Oh my God, that would have been, we missed a golden opportunity.
I was about to ask you about that. By the way, before we even get to that, I don't think it could be Kirk and Clemmer just because
Clemmer and Kirk.
You would be it has to be Chris because you're running into issues with two K's going. You never want to.
That's true.
Put yourself in a position to throw one more K in.
Clemmer and Minihane. Yeah,
I think Chris and Kirk would probably work.
Kirk and Chris.
It would Kirk would be first bill. But the other K and C. But wait, yeah. What was your take on Jerry being a potential guest on what's his name?
He would have blown up. Absolutely, he absolutely would have choked, and for the reasons that Kirk said, because Jerry so wants to play to his base, and he gets so nervous when it comes down to anything that's impromptu or when he realizes it's a big moment. So it would have been glorious. It would have been. The disaster would have been spectacular and great to behold. Like the Hindenburg in New Jersey in 1936. It would have been just watch it happen. It would have been great.
It's just a terrible, terrible car crash. Yep. I mean, listen, I want it for, like you said before, for the clips. Hopefully he'd pitch another SNL topic like he did the last time he was on a national stage. But
may I say something? Yeah. It's like, oh God.
Oh man, that would be
so yeah. So
that would be good. Another question for you, because I know you were a huge fan of this podcast. What are your thoughts about the end of Kirk and Off?
Very sad, but we have good news. Blind Mike's daddy was he's having another baby.
That's true.
So yeah, and I met
he's an idiot, but sure.
No, he's not. First of all, I first met him and his fiance at the time, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was. I don't think they were married yet. At Saco 1. Okay. Another event that you missed because it was on the Sabbath.
Yep.
She looked at me like I had three heads. I thought I scared her. Like the first time I met, Lauren as well. It's like she looked at me like. So I was like, I'm like, hi, how are you? Great fan. Congratulations. I don't think they were married yet. So it's great that we're seeing like the progression of relationships. From a fiance to couple to first baby, not a second baby. That was great. I couldn't be happier for him. Yeah. He's a great guy. We spent a lot of time together at Saco 3, I think.
Another one I missed.
I get them all confused.
Oh, look at you.
2, I think it was 3. Yes, there's so many.
You get to go to all these Saturday events. You get to be in the show chat and be the admin of the whole thing. And
by the way, JJ Klasky got suspended for like the 12th time.
Why?
And we thought about bringing you in, but we decided let him be back in 48 hours.
Of course. Why did he get suspended, by the way?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't like just a 12-hour Twitter block. It was his account is suspended.
Maybe he's back in now. Maybe a different account though.
It must be a different account because his Klasky Returns account
Yeah.
it was like full on suspended.
You know, VPNs are a marvelous thing.
Oh, for sure.
So
For sure. But also, I don't think Twitter actually uses IP addresses as much as you think they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, think about how many people have had accounts that get suspended and then they're back with other accounts that are not smart enough to be able to think to use a VPN.
Yeah, maybe you might have a point.
I mean, like you think the 3-letter moron who we don't need a name. You think with his 15,000 accounts, some of them have been suspended. You think he's smart enough to think, oh, I should use a VPN for this?
He could be some, these kids today, Adam, they know how to use this high tech stuff. So you never know.
I'm quite confident with that.
What else we got?
I think that was it. That's all. That's all we got.
Are you still commuting into the office?
So just
a yes or no question, Adam.
Yes, except that I haven't been in this week or last week because I broke my toe.
Oh, you pussy!
Well, no, I didn't. First and foremost,
even
I don't want
to a week, a couple of days, splint it up and walk.
Okay, but it's a mile and a half walk.
Kids in Little League, if they were he broke his toe. No, don't
listen,
run to second base.
I will tell you exactly what happened when the kid who was catching yesterday.
Just answer the question. Don't give me a metaphor or tangent.
This isn't a metaphor tangent. It's an actual answer. You asked me what I would do over Little League. The answer is simple. The kid who was catching yesterday for my son, who pitched the first 2 innings of the game, he was supposed to pitch yesterday, and he complained that his hand hurt him too much from my son's pitching, that he couldn't catch him for his second inning, and that he also couldn't even go into the field. Yeah, okay. So I told him that that's fine. You can't go in the field. Great. So that, sit on the bench. He then asked me, okay, but I'm pitching next inning. And I go, absolutely not. If you're too hurt to sit and you can't go into the field, then you're not pitching.
Does this have to do without
you asked me what I would fucking do.
So why did you wrap the toe up? Get a popsicle.
Because I don't want to. My boss doesn't give a shit. She's not around, and she's been out of town for 2 weeks, and I don't walk a mile and a half each way.
I'm not there yet. My boss is he's a very old school guy, and he lets some of our staff work from home part of the week. But I don't think I'm there yet. Being on the job 7 weeks, I'm going to try this Friday.
Okay,
we'll see.
Well, my boss also is. I mean, she's based in the New York office like I am, but she lives in Connecticut, and it's a 2-hour commute into the office. So she isn't super keen into going in. And anyway, she was traveling for the past 2 weeks, so it doesn't really matter.
I will tell you too, and I don't know how you feel about it, but it's working from home since 2014 for me. The commute's a killer. I forgot how draining. You're losing 3 hours a day, even though I'm taking public transport like you are as well. You lose so much time, even though you think you're connected and mobile, but you're not going to, work your laptop on a 20-minute drive.
No, for sure. But all right. Anyways,
being scolded in the chat room.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to wrap this up.
This is the topic for the podcast. LOL, and they're all caps, folks. He's capping.
That's because I need to make sure that you see it with your old man eyes.
I can't see distance. I can see up close quite well.
Anyway, listen. Thanks for joining us. We'll do better next time. Check us out on our RSS feed for more of these thrilling conversations. Follow us on Twitter at allaboard_pod, at SnarkNed, at Adam in Jersey, and download, rate, subscribe, like, unlike, then relike again, all that stuff. Watch this video a million times, and we'll do better next week.